prepared for the state tournament that we start on Wednesday. I have a few folks joining us who have had a lot of experience in the state tournament with volleyball, and I appreciate them for taking the time to be here today. Amy Ince, who has been sending you lots of great information in the past few weeks, is instrumental in this tournament, and I can't thank you enough, Amy, for all of the work that you do to get us ready to go and get our teams ready to participate and our students to have a great experience. So we are going to start off with, Amy, if you can move the slides forward to the agenda. We are going to start off with our great Tim Layton, who's going to share some really important media information, especially for our ADs. I will be going over some website resources that are available to you, as well as, again, going through that participating schools guide and pulling out some of the really important things. We will review that. We will talk about ticketing, and then we will announce the seeds at the end. And so I hope that you can join us for the entire presentation, and I promise that we will hit the highlights, and if there are questions after, we would ask that you wait and just reach out to myself or Amy after this presentation. We are recording this presentation, so if you know of someone who didn't have a chance to join us today, it will be available on their coach's dashboard. So at this time, I will turn it over to Tim Layton. Thanks for being here.
Very good. Good morning, everybody. And if you are starting your Sunday morning this time of year, that means you have had an incredibly successful season, and that your journey is going to continue at the Excel Energy Center in downtown St. Paul. And we are thrilled for you, your participants, and your communities to be able to participate in this great event. Before you see a slide that has to do with the student media pieces as it relates to the experiential learning of your students being able to cover this event as a member of your school's student media program. On this call are many administrators. Credentialing for that student media program all flows through you as the school administrator. I've seen many of you have already taken care of that this morning by making sure your member school is registered as an organization. That's step one. And then step two is where you identify your media members that will be representing your member school. As you can see here in the slide, we do have, it permits up to 2 students to be able to be credentialed as member of the student media. That can be in any form. It can be a student reporter, it can be a photographer, it can be someone from your yearbook. That is your designation. The faculty advisor, it has to be somebody who is employed by your district, somebody that is on the staff. It cannot be a designated team photographer disguised as a faculty advisor. We do need to make sure that that faculty advisor is somebody that is employed by the district. The deadline to apply for the media credentials is tomorrow at noon, and we look forward to seeing them flow in through today and into tomorrow morning. Final little piece of information for you so that you can communicate this correctly with your faculty advisor and or your student media. The place to pick up your credentials at the Will Call Center at the Kellogg Lobby entrance is on the mezzanine level. So there will be a media will call table there at the mezzanine level of the Excel Energy Center. That will be manned by Excel Energy staff. Please remind your participants to, the student media participants, to bring a photo ID. They will be presented with a media credential. That will gain them access to not only the arena, but also the arena floor. While there, please check in with a league media steward, and we will be happy to share some ground rules and placements of where you're allowed to be as a credentialed member of the student media. We thank you for your participation in this incredible experiential learning program. Congratulations, everybody, and best wishes for a great state tournament experience. Lisa, back to you.
Thanks, Tim, and that's all really good information. Again, if you have any questions, it should be on your dashboard, or Tim is always available to answer those questions. Thanks again. Amy, if we want to jump to the next slide. Awesome. First and foremost is ticketing. All of our ticketing should be purchased online. Please note that volleyball does have an exception that if you would like daily in and out privileges with your pass, with your ticket, that must be purchased on site. And this must be purchased with a card, no cash. I know that a lot of our coaches enjoy that, coaches who aren't maybe in the tournament, and then families who want to be in and out all day watching some great volleyball. That is a purchase there, but it must be purchased with a card. Please remember that you must show these purchase tickets on your smartphone or in your Apple or Google wallet. And so that's ticketing information. It's very accessible on our website for families and fans. So please help communicate. Please note that that in and out privilege is also on our website as noted. And so make sure you're highlighting that with your families too, if they're interested in that. Okay. And then our next slide. Perfect. This is some great information for your families and your communities as you qualify for the state tournament. This is the state tournament website for the public, and this will have a really quick snapshot right in the right corner there. Ticketing information, the schedule, streaming information, bracket information. There's a great spectator guide, and ADs take note of that. This is a really good link that you can send out to your families as you do on social media. Most of you are so good at that. And you can link this spectator guide right in your tweet or your social media, or as you're sending information to your families. That will walk them through most everything they will need to know when they come to the Excel Center to watch their kids play. And then there is an apparel link here, and we will talk apparel just in a little bit, but that's also a link to the apparel that's available. All right. Tournament apparel on site. There will be signage and it will be available on site during the tournament. It's available for the most part at all of the time that we have games playing. And it is also important to remember to purchase it early. I know kids that get excited about those t-shirts and sweatshirts, and it will be available at the coaches banquet. I think that's on Tuesday night, and we have some information in the slides about that as well, but our vendor will be at that as well. You can purchase it ahead of time online. Please note that you would pay shipping if you choose to purchase it online, but that is available if you're interested. Here's just a quick sample of what our volleyball apparel is going to look like for the tournament, so you can share that with your families if you're interested in doing that, if they're wondering what it's going to look like. Again, we have gone to online programs. If you have families interested in having these at the event, encourage them to print them before they come. That will give them all the pictures, information, bracketing, and other pieces that come in a regular program. And those will be available online probably before Wednesday for sure. And then another really nice piece is to note that Prep Spotlight School Space Media has changed names, and it is now called Neighborhood Sports Program Network. There is a link right from our website. Also really guide those families and especially those out-of-town folks who maybe don't know what Minnesota does, because we do have a lot of scam streamers that we really can't stop. And I know you guys experience those for your regular season and section tournament as well. But this is right on our website, and it is called Neighborhood Sports Programming Network. A little note that might be different from this year to last year is that this year you can purchase a subscription for $6.99 for the month. And that would get you all of our Minnesota State High School League state tournaments that are in the month of November. And so that would be a highlight for some of your communities. I know in the past it had been a game subscription, and I think this is a better, more cost-effective option for families. So that is available for your families and those out-of-state community members who might want to watch. And then we'll go to the participating school information on the website. Now, this information will be on your coach's dashboard or your AD dashboard, and the things that we talk about today will be available on the right side. You can see kind of where the arrows are. That is where you will find the majority of the information that we are talking about today if you need to reference something. Most important things to note: official roster size is 15 players. Okay, it's very important to make sure that you have those 15 players listed on your guide, and we will walk through getting that turned in as well. 3 coaches. These must be certified Minnesota State High School League coaches. They must have their coaches dashboard completed, and we ask that you limit this to the 3 coaches who've been working with your program this year. 2 student managers who also should be listed. Any additional personnel, you can have 1 statistician. This person would be seated behind the bench in the team area and can come in and out with your team. You can have 1 athletic trainer. We would ask that they provide their credentials to us when they arrive. And you can have 1 team doctor, and we would also require credentials from that person. So these are really for people who are going to assist your program and not for other coaches to participate. Okay, so please make sure you're adhering to that. Go ahead, Amy. Bus parking, for those of you who have been here before, it will be similar to last year. For those of you who haven't, please make sure that you are really paying attention to this, and we have some good direction in our participation guide. We also have Barb Bizian today, who has been our longtime tournament manager. And Barb, please feel free to unmute and jump in if I am missing something, as you have been doing this for a great amount of time for us. And it is my first tournament, so we want to make sure we're getting you the most accurate information. Team buses will be asked to enter the loading dock on Eagle Street. Please notice that this address is different than the address of the venue. Okay, so it's a very specific address, and it is actually underneath the X. And so the address is in the tournament guide for you to reference. This is not the same address as at the venue. I just said that. Buses will be allowed to stay parked inside this loading dock for the duration of your game. We ask that you arrive in your bus no earlier than 90 minutes prior to your game, and you leave 30 minutes after your game is over. We ask that you adhere to this as much as possible so that we can make sure that we have smooth transitions underneath in that tight loading dock. If you plan to attend the tournament outside of your games as a team or as individuals, you need to be dropped off at gate 4, and you'll be asked to adhere from the X's bag policy when you are doing that part. Okay. Next. All right, the pass gate. All cheerleaders, and make sure ADs at this point are really tuning into all cheerleaders, bands, and teams coming to watch other games are required to enter through the pass gate. And bands and cheerleaders will come through pass gate 4. This is located on the northeast entrance of the Excel Center. Passes will not be issued to participants and coaches, so you will not get wristbands. You will just be checked in. Members of the official squad will be admitted by either the loading deck or pass gate 4. You will see on your roster submission sheet that we are asking if you can identify if you're going to be entering for your game at the pass gate or if you're going to be coming through the loading dock. That will just help us prepare to receive you and make sure that your entrance is very smooth and seamless. We ask that coach, oh, go ahead. Yep, you're good, Amy. We can go to the next. School admin reps. And again, this is ADs, please make note of this. We require a school admin rep at all of our state tournament games. ADs, this is your responsibility to help us with the proper conduct of your team members and spectators. School administrators, please make sure you're checking into tournament headquarters, myself or Barb, at least 30 minutes prior to the schedule of your game. And as you're supervising those kids, it's really important that you're out in front of them and they see you there. So please share that if you have other administrators helping with your kids, because they really need to see you there in front of them. And that will also help to mitigate any issues we may have. You guys do great jobs with your kids and they know who you are. And it's really important that you're down and in front of them. So if I can help you with that in any way, please let me know. Barb, anything that I'm missing at this point?
I think you're doing well, Lisa. It's all good. Yeah, so far. I guess maybe one thing, just again, when you're arriving, if you're going to be coming in the loading dock, obviously you will be called by one of our team hosts will come and get you. That will always be the case. Even if you come in past gate 4, we might not come get you, but they will call us if you're coming to watch other than your game. Then they just let you go sit in the stands then and watch. But if you are coming from a hotel and walking and that's how you're coming for your game, please just stay there until a team host comes get you. We just don't want you wandering around the XL and then we have to try to find you and get you into the locker room. So just know that a team host will, when you're coming there for your game, a team host will guide you to the locker room area.
Perfect. Thanks, Barb. I appreciate that. Admin reps, please know you will be getting 4 comp tickets distributed to your email. You will also be getting a parking pass in that same method. So please make sure you're checking for those and connecting with us if you have questions on that. These 4 comp tickets are definitely designed for you to come and support your kids and have supervision there for your kids. Just a few notes that were in the participating schools guide. I want to make sure we highlight. We will be switching sides after each set, and we'll do a coin flip to determine the serves. We ask that coaches and captains meet in the hallway outside of locker room 1, or outside of the locker rooms 1 hour prior to the scheduled game time to do the coin flip. Please note that your tournament host, as Barb was just talking about, will walk you through this as well and make sure you are in the right places when you need to be. They're a super valuable asset as well. Please note the warm-up procedures in the participating schools guide. The high seed will be the home team. Be aware that there's no space for warm-ups on the floor prior to start of the official warm-ups. Okay, those are some highlights and questions we get frequently. The first game of each session, teams may go on the floor 35 minutes before the session with 25 minutes of warm-ups, which will give you 5 minutes for throwing. Warm-up periods are followed by 5 minutes for sweeping the floor and 5 minutes for introductions. Please make sure you review how we are doing introductions so you have your kids ready for that. We will introduce full squads and cheerleaders will be introduced prior to the quarterfinals and the championship matches. Starting lineups will be introduced for semifinals and consolation matches. And then as another note, we don't need you to bring any warm-up volleyballs. This is the form I was talking about. Really important that we're noticing this and getting this in as soon as possible. Schools are required to complete and email the tournament attendance form. This is a little bit different form than it was last year. Again, on this tournament attendance form, we're asking you to designate if you will be coming in through the loading dock this time for each of your games or walking from a hotel. This will just help us prepare the Excel staff for who is coming where and when. And then we can also plan for buses underneath. This needs to be into Amy by Monday at noon. Okay, if you have any questions on this, please reach out. It's really important that we have this in on Monday at noon. Fans, ADs that are on and administrators that are on, band buses should be dropped off at gate number 4. And fan buses should be dropped off at gate number 1. Okay, gate number 1 is the general entry gate, and that's really important that they're dropped off there. There is bus parking on the street. It's about a mile from the Excel Center, and it is no cost. We really encourage buses with trailers to park there. This is some information on your Coaches Association Volleyball Tournament Banquet. This is Tuesday, November 8th. There is a link on this PowerPoint, and I do think Amy sent out some information in the email you got last night on this banquet. And again, apparel will be sold there as well. Those are the highlights that I wanted to bring. Barb or Amy, if there's anything I'm missing, please feel free to jump in at this time. And again, congratulations to each of you. We will be moving to the seating process at this point, unless I missed anything.
Just one quick note, that tournament admittance form that's due tomorrow, it's available as a PDF as part of the participating schools guide. It's also posted separately as a Word document that you can go in and type in. So both of those are on your coaches and ADs dashboard. Use whichever format is easier for you to get your information inputted and then email that to me.
Lisa, just one point, and I'll let you take it. We want to just touch on the switching of the sides. If you want me to.
Yeah,
or-
I do. Sorry. Just a reminder that some of you have not switched sides for probably 2 years. And this was a request from the Coaches Association to allow this at the state tournament. And we are going to work through it this year, but work with your kids because some of them may not know how to switch sides or what that protocol is. And so just walk them through what that looks like so that they feel comfortable when they're there and it doesn't affect them. Just thanks for pointing that out, Barb.
And Lisa, if I can just, as one AD to all of you ADs on here, with that switching of sides creates a situation where, as those of you that have been at the state tournament, there will be a student section behind an opposing bench, at some point or another, as the sides are switched, the benches are switched. So ADs, this is not something we've had to worry about as much. But and I know that lends to a greater opportunity for our students to, do things that we know we don't want them to do in terms of their cheering and whatnot. So again, just be real vigilant. If your school is the school student section that ends up, behind a bench, because there's going to be during that match at least once where maybe once for sure, where the opposing players are going to be in front of your student section. And as the tournament manager, I hear from our table workers. That's who I hear from. They'll call me over and say, Barb, it's just terrible behind us. And you as an AD, I know, as like Lisa said, we'd really like you. We have that front row open. You can sit there. It's not the greatest spot. I get it, but it's really, truly the only way you hear what's being said as a administrator, because even if you're on the sides, you don't always hear what's being said. So I just keep that in mind, because the switching of it's always something we're obviously very dialed into, but more so now because of the switching of the sides. It's going to make that the kids are going to think that's just a great opportunity to do those things that we don't want them to do as fans. So I just thank you for a 30-second blurb on that. So appreciate your help on that, ADs. And as Lisa said, I'll be on the court all the time. You need something, or if we see something, we'll probably come find you. But again, if you could get yourself or whoever your administrators are going to be down in that front row, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks, Barb. And it's a good reminder for all of us.
Lisa, real quick, before we start the seeds, can I make sure that we can hear Jeff for when he does his draws, so we don't need to read his lips?
Can you hear me?
Perfect. We will be starting with Class A. And this is the first time I'm doing it too. So Amy, just remind me, am I reading 1 through 5?
You're reading 5, 4.
Okay.
Then read 3. Jeff will do the draw. Read 2. Jeff will do the draw. Read 1, and Jeff will do the draw. So you're reading backwards. 5, starting with the 5th seed first.
Okay, perfect. So in Class A, the 5th seed was Belgrade Bruton El Rosa from Section 6. And they will be playing the 4th seed, Badger GBMR from Section 8. And just tell me my speed if I'm going too slow or too fast.
You're doing fine.
All right.
Thanks.
So now we are on to the 3rd seed, who will be playing a random draw, which will be the Mabel Canton from Section 1.
Mabel Canton will play Pine River Bacchus.
All right. And the 2 seed is Mare Lutheran from Section 2, who will be playing.
They will play Ely.
Fantastic. And the number 1 seed, Minneota from Section 3, will be playing.
New Life Academy.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jeff. All right, we will go now to class 2, where we will have the 5th seed Concordia Academy playing the 4th seed Belle Plaine. Then we will have the 3rd seed Annandale playing random draw.
Rush City,
Now we will be having the 2nd seed Cannon Falls be playing.
Pipestone area,
Fantastic. We will have the 1st seed Pequot Lakes playing.
Arnsville,
Fantastic. And now we'll move to class 3, where we will have number 5 seed Montemedi playing number 4 seed Grand Rapids. We will have number 3 seed Benilde St. Margaret playing random draw.
Monticello,
We will be having number 2 seed Casson Manorville playing random draw.
Detroit Lakes,
Fantastic. And we will have number 1 seeded Marshall playing random draw.
De La Salle,
Fantastic. And now we will move to class 4, where we will have the number 5 seed Rogers playing the number 4 seed Chaska. We will be having the number 3 seed Eastridge playing random draw.
Stillwater,
Fantastic. We will have the number 2 seed Lakeville North playing random draw.
Centennial,
And we will have the number 1 seeded Wayzata playing random draw.
Burnsville,
Fantastic. Jeff, thank you so much for your help, and I appreciate you taking the time to come in today. All exciting volleyball coming up in the next week. I know that you will all have your teams ready, and if there's anything we can do to assist you, we are here to help. Thank you again for your time this morning, and if you have direct questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or Amy. Best of luck.
Last quick note that these pairings will be updated on our brackets on our website, probably within the next half hour, 45 minutes. So check back on our website to get a full view of the tournament brackets in each class.
Fantastic. Thanks, Amy, and thanks for all your work. I appreciate it. We will see you Wednesday and Thursday.